You're good to go.
Okay. Today we will discuss the topic of whether using technology threatens the world of special education and ABA. We have people stating supportive arguments for its use and others arguing against it. Focusing on the implementation of telehealth in diagnosing and treating clients with autism or other special needs, we will begin with the arguments for the use of this technology and then have the opposing side state their rebuttal. The people playing in favor of using telehealth services will be Kyle and Josh, while the people playing against it will be myself, Courtney, and Jacob.
Hi, my name is Josh, and I'm going to be beginning the part on technology benefiting ABA for our group. As technology has improved and become more integrated into the profession of special education and delivery of ABA services, we understand that this has caused many benefits for both professionals and the clients that they serve. Among these technologies and delivery methods, including telehealth, which is the delivery method of services by a clinician delivered via the internet to a client. Other technologies include assistive technology such as augmentative communication devices, as well as electronic data collection. We explore these technologies as well as video modeling for treatment, online training such as university for both education and behavioral analysts. Let's begin discussing the positive impact of telehealth for both clinicians and clients. In the world we live in today, technology is at everyone's fingertips. From readily available communication devices such as cellular phones and video chatting to easily usable portable health devices such as portable defibrillators, technology surrounds us every day. Due to this extreme availability, every medical field should attempt to utilize this readily available technology services to all populations that need health interventions. This is even more so true in behavioral health services that are offered. It has been a long-standing custom that behavioral health must be met on an in-person, face-to-face basis. This was mainly due to the need that in order to provide true effective service, the behavioral expert was needed to observe the client directly. Because of the advances in technology, this is no longer a necessity. These advantages in communication technology have allowed behavioral experts to reach a much larger percentage of the population at a decreased monetary commitment. The results of an analysis done on 85 studies, which included a total of 85,000 participants, showed that when telehealth was used to promote positive behavior change, that using telehealth to deliver behavior change interventions was more effective than traditional methods at a 95% confidence interval. This meta-analysis showed that the higher the effectiveness of the behavior change intervention. This review provides a framework for the development of a science of internet-based interventions, and the findings provide a rationale for investing in multiple behavior change techniques and modes of delivery. In addition to increased success, studies have been conducted to determine if there is an effectiveness through parent-led telehealth sessions. One such study attempted to determine if telehealth could be successful by implementing 60-minute sessions implemented by parents who are coached by a behavioral health expert. The results of the session showed all children showed a greater than 65% decrease in problem behavior, with 83% of the children showing a 90% decrease in problem behavior. In addition to these dramatic decreases in problem behavior, the cost to the parent was also assessed and showed that telehealth interventions over a 9-week period had an average weekly cost of $58 per participant. This is a large savings to cost when considering that the cost is $335 weekly. To use in traditional healthcare. It can also be used during the assessment process. A study was conducted to determine the efficacy of functional analysis conducted via parents with coaching via Skype from doctoral students with 7 to 10 years experience. These results showed across participants, the results interventions from the remote FA reduced problem behavior by 65.1%, increased independent task completion and manning by 87.5% respectively. If we take all these benefits and the proven effectiveness, we must begin to consider telehealth as a viable treatment method. We, as providers, have an ethical obligation, as stated in Ethics Code 2.09, both A, B, and C, to provide the most effective services possible. Although this may require additional training and information gathering on current providers' part to truly understand these emerging technologies, it must be acknowledged that we also have an obligation to continue and expand our education and resources, as stated in Ethics Code 1.03. When considering these results and the fact ABA could be highly accessible in all populations due to telehealth availability, it is our ethical duty to consider telehealth as a viable, if not mandatory, treatment method.
Josh, while I appreciate your view on this matter, I'm arguing against the use of telehealth because it is unethical to provide medical advice to a client one has not met in person. Such advice would be of low quality, and providing poor healthcare to clients clearly violates that BACB Compliance Code 2.09 that you mentioned, stating that the client's right to treatment efficacy is there, has to be there. Medical care involves careful examination, and that cannot be achieved using a webcam or through examination of a video shot on an iPad or a cell phone. There are many nuances to conducting an FBA accurately, and some of a client's behavior can go undetected if simply using a video for observation. Not only is telehealth a lower quality data collection method, but it also neglects a vital part to treatment, which is building a rapport with the client. When a behavior analyst meets a client in person, a healthy rapport is achieved much faster because face-to-face interactions are more prominent. They help establish trust, and the client is willing to comply with the demands placed on them sooner. Modeling behaviors or using a hand-over-hand technique to guide the client through an activity, for example, is something that's not possible through the use of video alone. So you have less tools to implement using telehealth. The reason this is even being considered in the industry is because there is a monetary incentive for providers. This technology reduces expenses in that treatment providers do not have to travel, saving them money and time, while increasing their income by allowing them to take on more clients. This lowers the quality of treatment and instead promotes convenience and possible affordability as selling points to the clients and their families. If a BCBA is to use this sort of technology for ABA purposes, they would be going against Ethical Code 1.04 regarding integrity, and therefore would not be operating under BACB board guidelines. There needs to be more consideration put into how this technology can be used responsibly.
As we continue, we look at the benefits for professionals such as special education teachers and behavior analysts to collaborate between each other and other professionals as well. It is often the case that clients are served by multiple professionals. Most often, all these professionals come from a different organization, or even when part of the same organization, they have times in which they are not on site, nor available at the site simultaneously. There are circumstances where they have to record their sessions and share it with other professionals. This collaboration for behavior analysts and even registered behavior technicians must often occur within the context of following the BACB Ethical Compliance Code 102A and B, in which they work with within their professional boundaries and move into unfamiliar areas after or while working with other skilled professionals. These technology opportunities exist for special education teachers as well, as they might too work with other professionals such as speech therapists, occupational therapists, physical therapists, and other professionals. This collaboration can also be used for meetings as well as trainings between professionals. It is essential that behavior analysts maintain ethical commitments to 2.03A and 2.03B that require consultation and cooperation with other professionals for the best interest of their clients. In addition, BACB Compliance Code 8.04A must be maintained, which requires behavior analysts using electronic media to obtain and maintain knowledge regarding the security and limitations of this electronic media. This code ties into the compliance code of 2.06A and 2.07B, which requires behavior analysts to follow the confidentiality and privacy laws. Even beyond that, these codes require compliance of HIPAA federal privacy laws and applicable privacy laws for behavior analysts, and often FERPA federal privacy laws for special educators. Thus, Behavior analysts and special education teachers can use technology that is in line with these laws and ethical compliance codes. Technology software such as Catalyst, Central Reach, or Box, and more have existed and have assisted these professionals with the creation, storage, audits, parental, and other party access necessary to more efficiently and effectively serve clients and collaborate with others. Imagine trying to find data on one specific goal, target, or behavior from the past 4 years or more of ABA services or within their educational record if in paper format across over 2,900 pieces of paper. This can be accomplished by a keyword or quick search on an electronic platform in seconds, not hours like on paper. These systems also create residual backups and allow professionals to maintain, share, easily use, and access data and other helpful tools, such as charting and program documents. There are many circumstances, such as special education teachers, behavior analysts, and registered behavior technicians who live and or work in more rural areas. These professionals often have few and perhaps no ability to learn from others hands-on. As required by BACB Compliance Code 102B, they would need to learn and work with other professionals, some of whom might be hundreds or even thousands of miles away. The only choice to provide effective treatment would be to use technology for this, training and meetings. There are multiple platforms such as Google Video Hangouts, Skypes, GoToMeeting, and others that can provide this technological platform for professionals and those in training and supervision. These and other technologies can be used for teaching clients skills through recorded or live streams such as video modeling and internet-based instructions. As stated by Strumi et al., video technology is perhaps one of the most readily available technologies for parents, educators, and clinicians. In addition to being economically feasible and portable, many individuals can operate video equipment with very little instruction, making it the technology of choice for many clinicians and researchers. Video technology has proven useful as a tool for modeling appropriate behavior, providing feedback, and creating discrimination opportunities for the children's own behavior, as a medium for presenting basic instructions that many children find engaging. In fact, there are many video modeling approaches and uses within the published research and available resources from these and other platforms. These are often used for teaching social skills and even vocational skills such as multiple step directions that are broken down into forward, backward, and total task chains. As stated by Charpel et al., subsequent assessments of the boys using untrained topics of conversation, new stimuli, new persons, and other settings indicated that children learn through video modeling, generalize their conversation skills, and maintain conversational speech over a 15-month period. In addition, in a later study by the same researchers, video modeling was a fast and effective tool for teaching perspective-taking tasks to children with autism, resulting in both stimulus and response generalization. These results concurred with previous research that perspective-taking can be taught. Unlike other studies, however, wider ranges of generalization were found, and results suggest that video modeling led to faster acquisition of tasks than in vivo modeling and was effective in prompting generalization. Much other research on video modeling has shown great outcomes and success in other skill deficits and goals of individuals, such as 2 studies in the late 80s demonstrated the utility of video modeling for teaching children with autism purchasing skill. Herring et al., 1987, and conversational skills, Charpel et al., 1989, suggesting that video technology held much promise in teaching children with pervasive developmental disorders. Several studies have since supported this claim by illustrating that video modeling can be effectively used to teach conversational speech. Shearer et al., 2001, increased task fluency, Laster et al. 1995, increased play-related statements, Taylor et al. 1999, improved social communication, Thyman et al. 2001, teach daily living skills, Shipley et al. 2002, and improved perception of emotions, Corbett 2003. Also, promoting spontaneous requesting, Wirt et al., encouraging social initiations, Niklopskis 2003, increasing imaginative play, DeAnto et al. 2003, and teach perspective-taking skills, Charpel et al. And LeBlanc 2003. And then self-monitoring off-task behavior by Coyle et al. 2004. In addition to video modeling, there are many internet and technology-based instruction programs for clients such as Discrete Child Trainer, ABA Online, and products by companies such as Autism Training Solutions. Programs and technologies similar to these have been cited and proven within research for many years. For example, Bernard Ops et al. Stated, results suggest young children with autism and their normal peers can be taught problem-solving strategies with the aid of computer interfaces. While Williams et al. Stated, all of the children spent more time on task in the computer condition than in the book condition. By the end of the study, after computer-assisted learning, 5 of the 8 children could reliably identify at least 3 words. It was found that children with autism spent more time on reading material when they accessed it through a computer and were less resistant to use it. Furthermore, as stated by Goldsmith and LeBlanc, technology-based interventions are often useful for and appealing to children with autism. A growing literature supports the general effectiveness of these tools, although additional comparative research is needed. Interested researchers and clinicians have a wonderful opportunity for exciting collaboration with other technical disciplines to make technology-based interventions truly useful and accessible for children with autism. As we see the real-life use of technology, we must remember that even before these special education teachers and behavior analysts have to become credentialed or licensed, they must complete university courses, which for some can only be accessed via online. Imagine living in Alaska where the nearest university is an 8-hour drive, or perhaps a 6-hour plane flight. As the needs for individuals in these areas of need grow, so will the professionals needed to serve them. These professionals will need to work in rural and remote areas as well as large cities. As special education professionals, behavior analysts, and registered behavior technicians become credentialed or licensed, they must maintain these. This fact is highlighted by BACB Compliance Code 103, which requires behavior analysts and registered behavior technicians to maintain CEUs. In order for many to complete these requirements, they must use technology to access videos, webinars, and even university courses to earn these continuing education units. For some, the only way to do this is the use of technology, including these types of internet-based instructions. Many universities offer these online courses, and some, as well as companies such as Autism Training Solutions, Relias Learning, and even the BACB itself offers CEUs. In addition to distance and location, there are also professionals under circumstances such as medical disability or that are taking care of others, such as those on maternity leave or FMLA. This often unforeseen or personally restrictive situations may limit their mobility or health in such a way that accessing university education or online CEUs may only be possible from their home.
This is all worth keeping in mind, but other than telehealth, technology is hindering ABA and special education because so many professionals rely on technology to aid in the teaching process that is technology promises to deliver. While this can be seen in a positive light for some, but for others, the funding is not there for each student in the school or to be able to have a device such as an iPad. And when this is the case, many students will feel left out. Yes, giving equal access to technology could, in fact, be beneficial, but who is to say that every student is getting the same amount of time? A lot of clients that are getting ABA therapy use some type of communication device if they do not use speech to communicate. Using iPads with different applications have been a popular tool to give a client a voice of their own, but there can be some drawbacks on this. One issue with using only this form of technology in ABA is that the client always has to be carrying around the device. If they leave without it or they have no other form of communication, not all clients meet the skill required to use all of the functions of the device. Also, if the device breaks, then the client is left without a form of communication. Another issue of using a communication device such as an iPad is that it can become a distraction to the client in an ABA setting by watching videos and playing games. This can quickly cause issues when the client is to be back at work and use their iPad only for a form of communication and not for leisure. In a study done by Beck, it showed that using PECs was easier to use than the SGD device, to the fact that the clients had to use other skills to operate the SGD device. In the study conducted by Bosch in 2013, they had 3 children under the age of 10 who were diagnosed with ASD use both PECs and a speech generating device. The results of the study showed that 2 out of the 3 participants actually performed better with PECs than they did with the SGD. In the study, the participants had issues with picking up the SGD device and carrying it around. The main advantage to using PECs instead of a device is that it is low cost, ease of maintenance, and easily portable. Another drawback for using technology is that a lot of companies such as Apple are always coming out with the next best thing, which can put a burden on one's paycheck. Due to all the new updates and everything, some communication applications such as Proloquo to Go can only be used in Apple products that support iOS 8.2. This being said, if you happen to have an older Apple product or do not own an Apple product at all, then you cannot use this form of augmented alternative communication. The price of using an AAC can become crazy expensive. An iPad price can range anywhere from $300 to $830, and this does not even include the communication application, which can cost anywhere from $200 to $250. There will always be drawbacks when it comes to technology because technology is not reliable. Something could break, the computer could get a virus, or worse, the computer could be hacked. Majority of the data that is kept on computers is private, and if it gets into the wrong hands, it can break many ethical codes, such as 2.06, maintaining confidentiality, 2.07, maintaining records, 2.08, disclosures. Technology in the classroom has been an up-and-coming advancement as well, but there can be many drawbacks to this. One issue that arises when it comes to technology for the classroom is that not all students receive the same amount of time with the technology. Due to computers and iPads being expensive, most schools, especially in low-income areas, do not have the funds to make sure each student has their own. Another disadvantage is that technology can cause the students to become lazy when it comes to studying. Computers and the internet have made it easy for students to find the answers that they are needing without having to study. There are other drawbacks when it comes to technology in the classroom as well, such as time lost due to connection issues with either the internet or the software that they are trying to use, as well as network not responding correctly, such as Blackboard and other devices. The most upkeep on technology can also cause issues due to the fact that it can be pricey and can be hard to maintain.
Technology can enhance and even solve dilemmas for professionals who take pictures, video, data, and create other documents. This is especially true as providers move to electronic data collection as well, which requires them to follow BACB Compliance Code 2.06 of maintaining confidentiality and 2.07 of maintaining records, as well as 2.11 regarding disclosure of client information. Various technologies allow behavior analysts and RBTs the ability to maintain confidentiality and maintain records. There are HIPAA and FERPA compliant systems such as Box, Catalyst, Central Reach, Code Metro, and more that assist professionals. These technologies allow them to be collaborative while holding up these ethical standards. They also allow easier legal and record compliance for many tasks, including parent record requests and audits. They also create residual backups to files, so unlike paper, can be recovered easily and forever. There are many of circumstances, including inheriting a client from another clinician who abandons the client or suddenly leaves or suffers a medical or legal restriction that no longer allows them to practice. The electronic data and client information will easily follow the new clinician and their ability to access and review the client's data and other program information. Another circumstance would allow the same or a new professional to easily review this electronic information if the client was to return to services after an extended absence. One cannot even comply and report concerns and ethical violations without the use of technology. The BACB, for instance, itself requires you to download their form, upload all the items into an Adobe PDF format, to submit them via email or online in order to follow BACB Compliance Code 10.02 regarding timely responding, reporting, and updating of information provided to them. In addition, they maintain the ethical codes on their website, which must be accessed via technology. One cannot even become a behavior analyst today without the use of technology. For example, the board certification test itself is electronic, and you must register via internet and the provider's online website or portals. This technology does not threaten the future of behavior analysis nor special education. It only improves and enhances it. This fact is supported by both research and is supported by many BACB ethical compliance codes referenced throughout this presentation. This is a factor in why new technology continues to increase and become part of the fields of both special education and behavior analysis. For example, Newman states, clinical psychology journals are recognizing the importance of technology in service delivery and devoting special issues to the topic. Furthermore, Goldsmith et al. States, technology-based interventions are often useful for and appealing to children with autism. A growing literature supports the general effectiveness of these tools, although additional comparative research is needed. Interested researchers and clinicians have a wonderful opportunity for exciting collaborations with other technical disciplines to make technology-based interventions truly useful and accessible for children with autism. Overall, we live in a world of technology, and without it, the field of behavior analysis would easily be behind its current state. Imagine a world without the internet to research interventions or collaborate with others. Also, imagine a world with much fewer behavior analysts, special education teachers, or even RBTs, as they wouldn't have come or stayed in the field if online courses, CEU seminars, and trainings didn't exist. If this was the case, how many individuals that have been assisted by behavior analysts and the science of behavior analysis would not be where they are today? We must embrace technology while balancing professionalism, legal, and ethical considerations.
Kyle and Josh made some solid arguments in the use of technology. And as someone who has an undergraduate degree in telecommunications, I do feel as though technology is really important. In many ways, it has helped in the field of ABA. There really is no denying that. However, there are some underlying issues that technology brings that the old ways of doing things did not. First, I would like to remind everyone the definition of validity and reliability and why they are so important. Validity is the quality of being logically and functionally sound, and reliability refers to the degree in which a measurement or calculation can be dependent to be accurate. Danielle Babel discusses the importance of these two things in a study done in the assessment to test the validity and reliability of discrete child training. Throughout the article, she refers to these two terms multiple times and discusses the importance of them. These are not only important to think about in a single study, but important to think about in the use of technology every day. As you all know, data collection is huge in the field of ABA. We all do it every day, and we all rely on data to write treatment plans, create individualized behavior plans, and much more. When the data is not correct, it can have a huge impact on that client. One of the problems I have with technology in ABA is the use of data collection tools for behavior tracking and programming tracking. I cannot put all the blame on technology, but combine that with user error, and we have a huge problem. If someone does not know how to use the device, if they do not know how to run a program, they may enter the wrong data, or they may just not enter data at all. As a clinical coordinator, I have been asked many questions that concern me about collecting data this way. One case that sticks out to me was an employee that worked for us for 4 months, and she asked me how to enter her behavior data. That to me meant for 4 months, she did not enter her behavior data because she couldn't figure out how to use the technology, and she was too embarrassed to ask. This directly correlates with the Compliance Code 2.09, the Treatment Intervention Efficacy. Each client has the right to effective treatment, and if the data is not implemented if the data is not being implemented, they may not be getting the treatment they need to succeed. Whereas paper data would have shown the data that I needed to see from her for those past 4 months. Do I think the paper data is the most effective way of taking data? No. But it does eliminate the risk of using user error on technology. Technology also relies on the internet in order to work. I work with a program called Catalyst every day, which in theory is a really cool tool. Catalyst allows us to collect data, pass documents from computer to computer, to the iPad, through the cloud, and all that good stuff. And it's a pretty solid application. The problem I have with Catalyst is that I have 60 clients on Catalyst at the same time for 7 hours a day. Catalyst as a program is great, but only if we can use it. With that many people on at a time, it freezes, loses data, crashes, or just won't even open. Wing-Shing Wang wrote an article to explain what's happening here. Each iPad is using the internet. So the iPad is using a little bit of the bandwidth allowed for the internet for our building. With 60 iPads on all at the same time using a little bit of bandwidth, we are maximizing the amount of usage allowed and surpassing the amount that we have. The application can crash and possibly lose all information collected by the iPad. This violates Compliance Code 2.11 records all data. We bear responsibilities to keep accurate data, which we cannot do with this program. This is a huge problem that only comes from using technology to collect data. Not all issues have to do with data collection though. It is my main concern, but there's another issue that I would like to cover. Kyle talked about online CEUs, and I think CEUs are really important. However, online CEUs are not the best. Nemanage looked at the effects of online learning versus learning in the classroom. There is a knowledge transfer that occurs in the classroom which may not happen using online due to off-task multitasking. When learning in the classroom, a student is more engaged. They listen and apply what they are learning better. There is more structure in the classroom that is needed to attend to the class throughout the week, and that encourages natural learning. Though these points are limited and are not scientifically proven, they bring up an interesting point that I think is something we need to keep in mind. Off-task multitasking occurs with a lot of students online. It is much easier when taking an online course to put off the work and to not pay attention to the lesson when you can also turn on a TV or do something else. CEUs are important and they can be really informative, but only if the person watching the CEU is actually paying attention. And when they're learning online, there's a chance that the individual may not pay attention, and the credit they are learning or receiving for that CEU, they should not earn credit for that CEU because they didn't learn. Technology enables us to do this, whereas the classroom environment, learning in an environment with no distraction, limits all of that.
Everyone brought up some great points about this subject, and there is no right answer to whether technology should or should not be implemented in homes and classrooms. Inevitably, technology will surely continue to integrate itself into the world of special needs care, regardless of how we feel about it now. As professionals in the field, it'll be our responsibility to guide its development as this cutting-edge world becomes more normalized. There certainly are ethical dilemmas that my side of the group raised, but Kyle and Josh brought up some strong points for its use and that even I can stand behind. As long as people's care is prioritized before company profits, I think that we can all agree that technology will most likely be a great help to our community. And unless anybody else has any more closing points to add, that is our presentation. Thank you.